Hey everybody, this is Chaos for Chaos Games, and I know it's been a while since I uploaded. In fact, a very long time. But I wanted to get back into it, swing of things. Had a couple things I wanted to talk about today. You know, been getting a lot of gaming in here recently. You know, Fallout 4, you know, Halo 5, whatever, a whole bunch of things. Playing this Just Cause 3 right now, as a matter of fact. And I'll pop over into the Wii U and get into that Xenoblade Chronicles X once I'm done here, while still trying to balance Final Fantasy 14 in and out when I can. So, been doing a lot more gaming than talking about gaming in the time I've been away. So, but you know, I just want to talk about some of the things I've been hearing now and kind of throw my 2 cents in about you know, the Game of the Year election. A lot of people out there been saying you know, Witcher 3. You know, if anybody's been paying attention, obviously won Game of the Year, and a lot of people are like, how did Witcher 3? How did that win Game of the Year? And then Fallout 4 not win Game of the Year. You know, so just want to throw my 2 cents in there. And then my thing is this: I play both. I enjoy both thoroughly. But here's the thing: I agree with that decision. Witcher 3 was the Game of the Year, hands down to me. Fallout 4 comes close. It does. You know, of course, but there's a couple reasons why I think Witcher 3. Some of it's personal, most of it's personal opinion. Some of it's more objective. But let's get down to this. It comes down to this. I prefer high fantasy over most things. That's just my preferred genre. I like, you know, dragons and you know, medieval type stuff. I enjoy that. That's why I always enjoy Skyrim over Fallout anyway. Now, not to say Fallout's a bad game. Fallout's a great game. I enjoy it. But Witcher 3, you know, one was had a setting I prefer. So you just like, you know, the combat was great. The setting, the minor details in the game was great. You know, the graphics weren't the best thing, you know, the most impressive thing, but you know, it was massive. It was the biggest game world I've ever seen. The soundtrack was amazing in Witcher 3. You could see if you kind of feel how the love that CD Projekt Red put into that game. You know, it's just really a masterpiece. You know, Witcher 3, you could feel the lore it had backing it. You know, it had not just, you know, some lore. There was no lore master who just kind of pieced it together. Like it is with the, you know, Elder Scrolls and you know, Fallout series. You have some kind of a lore master who kind of keeps track of things, and they kind of go off a baseline and they build off of that. Witcher 3 had a more solid foundation. You have to face it. All right. Witcher 3 was based off books, a series of novels, books, a TV show in Poland. It's like huge over there in Poland. They call it Wiedźmin, I believe. But it's huge, and yeah, it's got a movie behind it. It's just a lot of lore is back in this, and that's kind of a drawback too, because if you don't know anything about the characters, it's kind of hard to see where things place. You know, Cirilla and Yennefer of Vengerberg, Triss, Marigold, they're all characters from the book, and I think, you know, even though the creator of the series proper has come out and said that he didn't consider the games to be canon, so I guess it's a good expanded universe, but still, you know, it builds directly off, like from Witcher 1, it builds directly off that solid and massive and rich base of lore, and it all culminates in Witcher 3. The writing is stellar. Everything is stellar about the action. It's great. I enjoyed it. The free flow combat worked for me. I mean, of course, it's not the best free flow combat I've ever seen. Of course, you have, you know, marvels like you know, the Batman Arkham series, That's free flow combat for you. That's is really good. You know, and you got, you know, Assassin's Creed free flow combat, but you know, Assassin's Creed free flow combat really isn't that difficult. So I would say I would rate Witcher 3's in terms of difficulty a little bit above that, because it makes you actually feel like you're in peril, especially when you play on the harder difficulties like I did. Play on Death March, you know, you're weighing all your moves. You know, you really think about things when you're in combat situations. So yeah, it really put a perspective. You know, the monster hunts. You know, tracking down a monster, hearing how Geralt thinks as he works as a Witcher, the way he connects to the world and the characters in the lore. This is a special game. There's not too much wrong with Witcher 3. Now, Fallout 4, on the other hand, can't go wrong. Exploration, rich lore, you know, an alternate timeline. You know, it's a great game. Of course, they took out some things that, you know, the size was a big complaint, but there's so much to do. It's so dense that, you know, you don't really notice the size so much. It doesn't really, once you're actually in there and you're playing Fallout 4, it's not really a factor. You know, of course, it's a Bethesda game. The story's decent, but it's not the most compelling thing. I mean, you don't really play Bethesda's games for the most compelling stories. I mean, they're good. They give you a reason to do things. It's really about exploration and in this, you know, seeing and finding things and exploring the world that they created. But here's the thing. Witcher 3 is bigger, and there's more to see. So the things that make Fallout 4 great, The Witcher 3 has in spades. The thing, though, that Witcher 4 or Fallout 4 has that Witcher 3 doesn't have, though, is that replayability. I feel like, I mean, of course, there's replayability in Witcher 3. Don't get me wrong, but not as much. Because, you know, you obviously in Fallout 4 have the opportunity to customize your own character, and in a game like that, you might you know, create one character to do certain things, join one faction, or you might create a character to mod or do something with a different type of way, and that just gives you a freedom you don't get with a locked main character. But of course, on the other hand, you have a locked main character, like in The Witcher 3, that you latch on to, and it drives the narrative better. You get a better story that way. You know, you can afford to have a more compelling storyline that way. And Witcher 3 had a compelling storyline. It's amazing writing. Even though it lacks the replayability of a game like Fallout 4 or Skyrim or any Elder Scrolls game, it doesn't necessarily make it. It's really not a factor when you judge the game for its overall quality. I would say I played The Witcher 3. I will end up playing The Witcher 3 less, and I'll play Fallout 4. I'm eventually going to go back to Fallout 4 and play again with another character, because I beat it pretty thoroughly. And, you know, I had a great experience with it. I did some exploring, but of course my gaming load has gotten a little hefty on me, and I have to really spread my time out between, you know, that and work and everything. Just got to really be smart with my free time, because, you know, I got all three of these daggone systems here. Got this Wii U, this Xbox One, and this PS4. There's a lot of good gaming to go around. And got a lot of gaming to do, man. A lot on my plate to get done. And so as much as I'd like to go back and play Fallout 4, there's just things I wanna do on the in the meantime. So I'll have to get back to that at some point. I'm digressing a little bit, but I still gotta get back and finish this Old Hunters DLC on Bloodborne. So that's what I was doing a couple days before this Just Cause came out. So I imagine I'll go back to that after I take care of this Just Cause to my heart's content. Get into that Xenoblade Chronicles, take care of that to my heart's content. I'll go back and beat that Bloodborne Old Hunters DLC thoroughly, and finish up Halo 5, and we'll see what comes after that. But oh yes, back to the topic at hand. So yeah, Fallout 4, it's Fallout. Let's not get it twisted. It's Fallout. It's gonna be a good exploratory experience, but at the same time, ultimately, like I said, the writing is not as compelling. You're not as attached to the characters in that game. Although I will say the main story quest had a very interesting twist that made you think about things and made me think about things. I actually thought that twist in the story was pretty good. But overall, I still feel like The Witcher 3. It just was on a different level of way it was of craftsmanship, the way they designed it, the way they designed the story, the way they ended out the trilogy. It was stellar. I mean, it's just, to me, as Fallout 4 got edged out. It's surprising to say, because you would think that Fallout 4, the Bethesda games are usually giants, and it's hard to really overcome a Bethesda game. But I feel like The Witcher 3 really earned its marks, and I'll defend that, because they're both great games. I got a lot of enjoyment out of both of them, but there's something about that Witcher 3 when I was playing it, you just feel good when you're playing it. Or at least I did. I felt really good. I really felt connected with the characters. The combat, and the soundtrack, the overall setting, because again I prefer high fantasy settings. Like I said, that's why I always preferred Elder Scrolls over Fallout. That's just the way I feel about it personally, but just wanted to throw my 2 cents in there. But yeah, tell me what you think. Just give me a couple ideas of if you agree with my opinion or you disagree with my opinion. But it's good to be back. I'll try to make some more content here and start getting a good steady stream of things going again when I have the time. Tell you some of my exploits and what I'm looking at and how my gaming experiences are going here. But till next time, it's been Chaos Games. Gamers, game on.